So here's what I want to take you through. The question is,
look at his face.
Were Vladdy was asked, were the Blue Jays close in negotiations to hit to the number? Like were the two sides close? Here we go.
Is there a number he won't go below?
I'm sorry.
Is there a number he won't go below, or a number of years? Is he willing to negotiate at all, or does he have a set mark?
Hay un número exacto o término, año que tú no llegarías, o ya tú tienes un número en tu mente que ese es el que hay, punto.
Bueno, yo tenía el número en mente y cambié mi número por quedarme aquí como quiera no lo hicieron.
I have my number all along. I changed it a little bit. I tried, but it just didn't happen.
Were they close?
No.
Him answering that is terrifying.
Yeah.
He understands English, but he doesn't want to be misinterpreted, which is why he uses an interpreter.
Totally understandable.
And I get that completely. Now, so this is a key statement because right after that, and Steve, you touched on this, Ross Atkins comes out. And Ross Atkins is the equivalent of speaking to the Deserve to Win a meter. No disrespect to the creator of the Money Puck. I love you. It's not you.
No, because the numbers don't have a soul.
Right. The numbers are the numbers. Yeah. And oftentimes the Deserve to Win a meter is used in positions it really shouldn't be, right? But it is the most viral piece of hockey marketing I've ever seen in my life.
We never
it's
point
amazing.
out when it's correct.
No, and
which I assume is more often than not.
And like as I said, what a great piece of marketing! Like how great to bring people in. It's amazing.
Sure.
So Ross Atkins. If you've never experienced Ross Atkins,
bless you.
This guy cannot give you a straight answer about anything, and the reason he can't give you a straight answer about anything is because he's lying.
Look at his face.
Now, this guy, it's hilarious how this answer is going to unfold because the key statement was, were you guys close? And Vlad said no. Listen to Ross Atkins respond to generally the same question.
Ross, how is this front office kind of feeling? What are your thoughts right now, knowing that you guys could not come up with?
Yeah, obviously very disappointed. We worked very hard. The motivation is still there. Confident that every thought, idea we had, every dollar, that we had was communicated. So, but we're obviously disappointed to not have gotten that done. Doesn't change our desire. We will certainly be motivated and remain motivated.
Oh, sorry. Okay, so I gave you the wrong clip. I'll read it.
He still said nothing.
I'll read it. The question is, was the offer close? And Atkins said, close is such a big word with many meanings.
Christ.
What
an exhausting one-sentence answer.
I'm gonna find it. I think Keegan Matheson might have had it, but go ahead, Jesse, if you have it.
No, I don't have it.
Here's how Keegan Matheson, who's there and reporting it. It just depends on how you define close. That's
close.
Too big of a word to talk specifically about, and I'm not comfortable talking about those numbers. So Vlad says, no, we weren't close. Right after that, Ross Atkins walks up and they go, okay, do you think it was close? And he goes, define close. Close is such a crazy concept. Close was developed by the blah, blah, blahs 2,000 years. Like he is a guy, and I use the word obfuscate, which basically means guy who puts up a bunch of words.
Well, the earliest elements of human language were discovered about 50,000 BC. And
yes.
Holy shit.
Yes.
Shut up.
And this is where Blue Jays fans get annoyed because the answer is no. The answer is no. You were not close. And why can't you just say, no, we weren't close? Torontonians like a straightforward person. And this guy speaks like he's hiding something from you.
Yeah.
He also speaks like you're stupid, and I'm not. And I don't think he knows that, but it comes across and lands like you're an idiot, I am the baseball man, and I'm going to be condescending to you. Listen to how he answers.
Canadian baseball fans love that, by the way.
What?
Listen, I don't know if you know
you Canadians
up here how it works. Well, how about the way it works is you go fuck yourself. How about that? How about that? Sorry, Adam, go ahead.
No, that's fair. I'm going to let you go. Now, Hazel May then has posted this clip. Ross Atkins was asked, because he said resources aren't an issue. This is not an ownership problem because this group will go out of their way time and time and time again to defend the Rogers ownership group. And to be honest, they have one of the higher payrolls in baseball. They spent $500 million on renovations for Rogers Center. Resources really aren't an issue. So what is the issue? Have a listen to the answer.
So top 5 payroll. Resources don't appear to be an issue. So if resources aren't an issue, why is Vlad not signed?
Yeah, I mean, it's every deal, every situation is different, and we always have had incredible support. How you come up with a value and are willing to reach certain thresholds, you have to stay disciplined to, and you have to stay disciplined to the fact that we are running a business.
What would you say to fans who think that you were able to offer a lot of money to Juan Soto or Shohei Ohtani, who did not want to be here, but Vlad did want to be here? How do you kind of reconcile that?
Yeah, well, the offers that we made for Vlad would have been record-setting and would have been made him one of the highest paid players in the game. So we were, in our view, very aggressive.
Russ, are those Blue Jays records? What records?
Yeah,
thank you.
Would have been one of the Blue Jays records, and would have been one of the highest paid players in the game.
Do you look at his value more based on him as a first baseman, or what offense he can bring? Like, what factors do you look at? Because first basemen traditionally haven't gotten.
Yeah, he's a great player. We love everything about him, and first base is he's a strong first baseman and one of the best hitters in the game. Certainly top 10, and for someone his age, you could argue top 3 or 4.
So what do you get out of that? And I'll give you the answer. Nothing.
No, I got something out of that.
What'd you get out of that?
Out of his first answer. Can you play it again? Did you? I think Jesse's picking up what I'm putting down here.
Always have had incredible support.
No. Here. Go a little in front of that.
Value. Soto.
Yeah.
Top 5 payroll. Resources don't appear to be an issue. So if resources aren't an issue, why is Vlad not signed?
Yeah, I mean, it's every deal, every situation is different, and we always have had incredible support. How you come up with a value and are willing to reach certain thresholds, you have to stay disciplined to, and you have to stay disciplined to the fact that we are running a business.
What would you say to fans?
Ownership. It's ownership.
Well,
if money is not an issue, and we've always had incredible support from who?
Well,
who are you getting support from?
And apparently Ed Rogers
above him?
Ed Rogers met with Vlad Guerrero Jr. too on Monday.
Oh fuck! No wonder the deal didn't get done.
So
what's he doing that for?
So beyond, because sometimes you do get the owners involved because it's like, we really want you here, whatever. Like there's some heft to that. I do get that. Now let me.
I wonder if they agreed to a deal verbally and then he walked it back.
Let me say this. What's interesting is that Vlad Guerrero Jr. They said that would have been a record-setting contract for the Blue Jays.
Yeah.
But that's an important one to say.
Yeah, that's not a lot of money.
The biggest deal in Jays history.
The follow-up question should have been, Ross, do you know what inflation is?
The biggest deal in Jays history was the one that got them George Springer. And it's $150 million. In today's baseball money, for a superstar, that's nothing.
Yeah.
And the crazy part about this is they could have had him signed 3 years ago to a long-term deal at probably half the price he's asking now.
And they didn't do it.
Now, let's hear from Mark Shapiro on this. And I just sent it through to you, Jesse. I don't know if it came through.
Go pull it up.
And I have interviewed Mark Shapiro. Person to person, I like Mark Shapiro very much. I think he's got a blind spot for Ross Atkins. And we'll see what you think.
So why didn't this get done, Mark, given all those things that you just listed off?
Because when you go into a negotiation, each side has rationale for a number, and in this case, we couldn't align on a common number that shared risk. Both sides take some on, and a decision from both parties couldn't be found.
Vlad said you guys weren't close. Could you maybe give us a general theme?
Yeah, I don't know what, there's no such thing as close or not close. There's done or not done.
Well, there's close.
Maybe describe the degree of gap. Like, you said there wasn't enough alignment. How misaligned do you sense you guys were in those
A lot of progress was made, over the last few days. But again, when it comes to getting a deal done, it's either done or not done. And I'm not comfortable talking about details of a negotiation. Never would be.
So what's interesting about this, that close or not close, it's done or not done. These guys talk about every year how close they feel they are. They start every spring training, and then after, and if you go back to the Barrios fucking fiasco where they pulled Barrios out in the 6th inning because their analytics department told them to, and Ross Atkins blamed John Schneider. John Schneider blamed Ross Atkins, and at the end of it, they were like, "But we were so close." And that, by the way, as Jays fans, that's why we were pissed. You were so close, and you blew it. And so which is it? Right? Is it close? Closer, if you're close and you believe in the concept of close, was the deal close or not close? And if you don't believe in that, then don't tell me to start this year how close you feel you are. Don't tell me at the end when you failed how close you thought you were.
If the Raptors hadn't won in 2019, I think we would have all stopped cheering for sports.
I don't know. I like the TFC win too. I know it's less. I know it's less than everything, but it really did inspire me.
Well, and
it can't happen.
Those
in
were back to back, I believe.
It's 17 and 19. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But yeah,
the Leafs, they're always close, and the Raptors for a while were, you know what, they're close, and the Jays, they're close. I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Can someone get done?
Jesse, you've been quiet throughout this, and you are, without question, the person at this table that knows the most about baseball, pays attention to it, played it. What do you think about all this?
At a high level.
That's
sorry. Jesse always hates when you say that.
Yeah, because it's like context. High level when you're 14.
Hey, that's
a high level.
That's high level to me, man.
No, so high. Yeah.
So.
No, there's so much going on here. It's like which direction do you go in? Because it's a building of 10 years with Shapiro and Atkins where they haven't won a playoff game in the entire tenure that they've been here, except for if you count the 2016 wins, which weren't really their team that they built. That was the first year that they were here. So they haven't won a playoff game since then, and it's been abject failure ever since. And there should be no confidence from the fan base in terms of what they're going to do moving forward. And you look at how this season can play out, and they can be terrible, and they could trade Vladimir Guerrero Jr. at the trade deadline and recoup a bunch of assets. And you're like, what am I cheering for at that point? It's like this franchise, if you've been a lifelong Blue Jays fan, it seems like it's at rock bottom here if the season goes the way it could go. And at that point, you reach some sort of apathy with this team that you really love and that you're still going to be a fan of the team, but you're not rooting for it. And I think you have there's a possibility here where Rodgers could reach the point with this team where no franchise in pro sports wants to be, in that their own fan base doesn't care about it anymore. And that's the damage that this front office has done to the team through the 9 years that they've been here. And you look at Vladdy, who they signed, the old Blue Jays regime signed him when he was 16 years old. He was a child, and they've grown him into a full man now, and it's almost a decade with this Blue Jays organization.
And by the way, it was Anthopoulos that signed him.
Yeah. And then now he's a grown man, and he wants this contract, and he wants to be a Blue Jay. He's spoken about that a lot. And what the press conference quote that hit home for me out of this was, I don't have it in front of me, so I couldn't play it, but he said that his whole goal for the next stage of his career is to win a World Series and to give the World Series ring to his dad, Vladimir Guerrero Sr., the famous Montreal Expo. That's what he wants to do at this phase of his career. And he wants to be in a place where he can win that World Series ring and hand it to his father, who never got the opportunity to win the World Series. And that breaks my heart in the fact that he believes he can't get it done here. If he doesn't if he can't align on the numbers with Shapiro and Atkins, that means he doesn't believe that this team can deliver him that World Series. And that's heartbreaking because this is the team that grew him into a man. And I think the whole point of running a pro sports team is to make your fans happy through winning or the stars you bring to the table. And like the whole idea of having Vladdy is to have him on the team. And your job is to get that done. Your job is to build a winning team around him and to have him here as the star of your franchise. And if you're not doing this, then what are you doing with the team? What is the point of you owning this franchise and running this baseball team if not for everything that comes with having your star players and winning baseball games? You're doing neither. How do we move forward here except we all just don't like this team anymore?